Sure, go. 3 to 1. 2 plus 2 is 4. What is your subjective reaction to this image? Content. What best describes a person? A human being, a citizen, a being of negative entropy. Negative entropy can be anything. Like a tree is a being of negative entropy. A rational animal, a problem-solving system, a person. Human being, that's not how I would, that's not really how I would describe any of this. A person is not necessarily rational. A citizen is not necessarily a citizen. It could be anti-social. A human being is not necessarily a person. A problem-solving system is not necessarily... I don't agree with any of this. I don't agree with any of this. I'll just say a citizen as being the most socially acceptable response. You're walking through the desert and come across a thirsty traveler. His eyes bulge from slow dehydration. You have water, but you're not sure how far it is to the next oasis. What do you do? Offer half the water, offer all the water, ignore him, ask what are you doing in the desert, kill him and collect his blood in a flask for later. I offer him all the water. Part 1 of the certification process is now complete. You will receive a notification when Part 2 has been generated. Press a key to exit. Alright, exit. Alright, well, we're gonna keep reading. 260 BCE. Interesting. So this is from... I guess... Oh, this is from year 0. This is from year 2031, and that's from year 260 BCE. Alright. Let's read the stuff. From Frank Nagatai to Miles Nagatai, then Natai. Okay, from Frank to Miles and Dan. My first day at the Institute for Applied Pneumatics. On the way to work, I'm terrified. What if they don't like me? Do people really think like this? What if they're all geniuses and I'm a complete buffoon? Well, then they'll do all the work and you can eat cookies all day. I don't know. Maybe they're just kidding about letting me work there. Who does this? Does anyone else do this? Trembling, I walk in, and right at the entrance there's a life-size poster of Jeff Goldblum. What the hell? Then I get it. Institute for Applied Pneumatics. Ian. Dr. Ian Malcolm from the Jurassic Park movies. Jeff Goldblum. Yeah. They're complete dorks. The Dr. Sarabhai shows up smiling. We were trying to find a cool acronym back when the institute was founded, she said. In an no. It all sounded stupid, but we didn't just want to call it Ian because, well, it's a name. Then someone made a joke about calling it Jeff, and it kind of stuck, so we're officially called Ian, but if you hear anyone referring to it Jeff, that's our internal name, I guess. I know, bloody geeks. After that conversation, I wasn't so scared anymore. Why were you scared in the first place? Because you're stupid. Athena analysis. User Alexis added 4 notes. Note 1. Novel's first sentence, she woke up in an impossible place knowing nothing, signifies more than the beginning of another amnesia-based mystery, though we should not go so far as to read the entire work as allegory. Rather, while taking the science fictional novas at the core of the narrative at face value, we should corrupt it. Remember that the corruption is equated to contradictions. So, anyway, Note 2. Having no inherent knowledge of the nature of the world, forced to rely on what we are told by others and what our own subjective, flawed, limited senses tell us, social reality, belief, and objective reality matter come into conflict. They don't. They shouldn't. And if they do, then objective reality kind of takes precedence because you can't change objective reality that much. Note 3. When in Chapter 16, A Second Awakening in the Kingdom of Artemis, the protagonist questions her mentor on the... Why does the game give us this stuff to read if they just leave out all the interesting stuff? Note 4. A more meaningful interpretation can only be achieved through synthesis of... Yeah, like they're just gonna give you hints that there's more interesting stuff, and then they don't give you the interesting stuff. Like, why? What's the point of this? Talos principle.txt. Illustration of Stagiria. Whether it is true that Daedalus constructed the giant Talos, or as others say he was the creation of Hephaestus, what we may be certain of is that he was made of bronze, and had but one vein within which flowed a liquid substance like blood, which some claims was quicksilver, and others assert was ichor, such as flows in the veins of the gods. The loss of that liquid caused him to die, as a man dies when he loses his blood. May we not then say that Talos, though created as a machine or a toy, had all the essential properties of a man? He moved of his own volition, he spoke and could be spoken to, and had wishes and desires. Indeed, in the tale of the Argonauts, that was the cause of his downfall. If then a machine may have all the properties of a man and act as a man, while driven only by the ingenious plan of its construction and the interaction of its materials according to the principles of nature, then does it not follow that man may also be seen as a machine? This contradicts all the schools of metaphysics, yet even the most faithful philosopher cannot live without his blood. See, the point here is that all the schools of metaphysics are stupid because, of course, a man is also a machine. It's just the combined outcome of all the interacting biological parts, right? And yes, a person's mind is quite interesting, but it's just the natural outcome of having your brain wired up in that particular way. And when we finally make artificial intelligence, they'll be like us in a lot of ways. Once we make a machine that is able to think for itself, it'll be remarkably like us. Except maybe it doesn't have certain instincts like wanting to have sex all the time, because that's kind of biological and animal. Alright, well that's that. The story is told through reading other people's emails. A little bit odd, a little bit antisocial and privacy invading and whatnot. So what's going on here? We're on an island or something. And apparently we can go... Oh wow, the game's giving you a lot of empty space. Which is cool, but this space doesn't actually do anything. Let's try that again. We didn't really hear what he said. He won't say it again, I don't think. We just kind of missed that. Look at that beautiful sunset.
In the beginning were the words, and the words made the world. I am the words are everything. Where the words end, the world ends. You cannot go forward in an absence of space. Repeat. In the beginning were the words.
What a loser.
I am the words are...
Basically what you're saying is that your creation is so limited that there's only one island. And that your ability is so limited that you can't even create a proper ocean for me to swim in. That's basically what you're saying. The flowers are flat textures, nothing interesting there. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Can we just kind of enjoy the sunset for a while? The sun doesn't actually set though. That's a real shame. It looks kind of good, but it doesn't actually set. Also, there's islands. So do we go to those islands if we go to the other doors? Let me just run through here. Also, frame rate issues. Man, they give you a massive island. I don't know if it's a good idea because there's literally nothing out here. I know I'm deliberately walking around where there's nothing. I know that, but you know, at the start of the game, they give you corridors that really constrain where you can go, which for a puzzle game makes sense because you don't want to just wander around forever like how we are doing right now. Let's read these things. That voice is not supposed to be here. It is not the work of the designer. We must avoid these anomalies or they might spread and undermine the very fabric of our world. What? Who? This Faith guy is stupid. Something strange has come into the world, like a distortion, like something that's not supposed to exist. A beautiful voice speaks within it. Something strange has come into the world like a distortion. Okay. What is it? I don't know what they're talking about. Are they talking about that stupid voice? Is he not supposed to be here? Maybe he's not supposed to be here. So there's puzzles in here and there's kind of errors in the trees. Occasionally. Not much going on. And alright, not much going on there. Now I'm slightly concerned that I might miss some of these messages if I don't look everywhere for them. Like here, this looks kind of special. What is this? Nothing. There's nothing here. Like, you know, sometimes you have this kind of bit of architecture that looks kind of interesting, and then it turns out there's nothing there. So I don't know. It's like you have to look at everything, and most of the time you'll be wasting your time. Look at that. Look at that arch. Pretty good, right? Impressive. Did the Greeks make arches or was it the Romans? I think it was the Romans mostly who made the arches. Like if you look at a Greek temple, for example, the typical Greek temple has no arches in it anywhere, whereas the Romans had a lot of arches. So just keep that in mind if you are interested in architecture history. That's kind of cool. The big building there. What is going on here? Look, there's another computer thing. And it's beeping at us. That doesn't load anything. That's curious. This terminal is quite different from the other ones. Library session mounting. Wow, it's really fast. Okay, this computer is much faster than the other ones. Interesting. Error log. Cannot load archive. Milton John. That day I oft remember when from sleep I first awake and found myself reposed. Under a shade on flowers, much wondering where and what I was, whence thither brought and how. So that's John Milton. I guess we can find the poem if we want to look in Wikipedia or something. The human machine. One day you discover that you are not a human being but a machine. Your life so far was real, no one controlled you or programmed you to behave in some specific way. Your physical and mental capacities are identical to those of an organic human being, but you were created in a lab. Okay. No one except you know about this. Your family, your friends, they all think you are a regular human being like themselves. You could continue to live your life the way you have before and nothing would change. How do you react? I just keep doing what I enjoy, which is play video games all day. Why not? Pay specific attention to these questions. Does your concept of yourself change? Are you the same person you thought you were? Yes. Yes, I actually am the same person I was. Because nothing else has changed. If I liked video games, I still like video games. If I like pizza, I still like pizza. What changes? Nothing. Does your understanding of the world itself change? A little bit, because somebody created me. So somebody out there actually can make a fairly advanced AI. And I want to know more about that. Because, where did I come from? If I'm a machine. Do you reveal the information to others or do you keep it to yourself and why? Well, I'll hint. I'll drop some hints. Like, have you ever seen an artificial intelligence before? Like, ask my friends, ask my parents. Have you ever seen like a robot before? If they don't know, then maybe you don't tell them. If they know, if they're like, actually, yeah, you're a robot, then okay, then we talk about it. Like we were kind of just not saying it, but you're a robot. They might say that. That'd be funny. 1,500 to 2,000 words. The 26th is the final deadline. No extensions will be granted. Submit via email or something else. Do you reveal the information to others? Do you keep it to yourself? Why? The thing is, if you find out that somebody created you as a robot and then nobody else knows about it, shouldn't you kind of hypothesize that there's a reason that they did that? Like, why would somebody make you and put you into that situation? So shouldn't you try to find that person and talk to them first before you kind of ruin the experiment or whatever it is that's going on? Maybe they're running some sort of experiment. Anyway.